All right. This ain't just a show. This is a platform. Veteran built, battle tested. Welcome to the MisFitNation. Yeah! In a room, built from boots on the ground, now we breaking the rules. 2 vets, 1 leader, painting the sound, turn scars into sermons, let them echo around. Artists with truth, musicians with fire, actors backstage chasing something higher. Entrepreneurs bleeding just to get ahead. If you fought for your dream, yeah, you are what you said. If they told you no, if you still came back, if you fell to your knees but you stayed on track, this is your voice, this is your flame. Say it loud, remember the name. No salvation, just elevation. We rise again. From the fight, to the end. We are the MisFitNation. No damn labels, no damn cages. If you're still breathing, you belong. Turn it up, this is our song. Yeah, this is our song. Yeah. Veterans standing with ghosts in the chest. First responders running in while the world second guess. Gold star names carved deep in the soul. Your story ain't over, we carry the whole. Coaches teaching mindset, breaking the chains, turning barely alive into owning the pain. Truth over polish, scars on display. If it's real, let it bleed. That's the misfit way. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels close. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels close. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels close. It's Aubrey right now. We're the more than you know. 9888, don't walk alone. Veterans press 1, bring it home. Don't trade forever for tonight. You're still needed in this fight. We are the MisFitNation, built from scars and dedication. We rise again. From the fight, to the end. We are the MisFitNation. Every voice is fabrication. From the silence to the scream, we're strong. Welcome home, you belong. You belong. You belong. Oh wait, you. Oh wait, you belong.
All right. Welcome back to the MisFitNation and your Sunday after dinner edition. We are grateful that you're here tonight on this great day to celebrate our mothers. Happy Mother's Day, everyone out there that is celebrating Mother's Day and loving the mom that raised them, or the mom that's raising their children right now, or those moms that you know in your life. Just give them a little praise today. Love on them. Give them everything they need. Tonight, before we start, last week, before we started the show, we brought to you the news that 2 soldiers were missing during an exercise in Morocco, operation exercise called African Lion, I believe. They found one of those soldiers. His name is First Lieutenant Kenneth Lamont Key from Richmond, Virginia. Let's keep his family, his friends, his unit in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this sudden change and get ready for services as he gets brought home back to America. But today's guest is someone who proves that mission doesn't always end. It often evolves. Joining us tonight is United States Army veteran James Arthur Donzella. He served his country, then stepped into a whole new arena, writing, storytelling, and creative work. He's an accomplished author, screenwriter, voice actor, and contributor to respected publications like The War Horse and other veteran-focused literary outlets. He is also part of the UCLA Word Commandos creative writing workshop for military veterans. It's a lot of words there. Helping show what happens when veterans channel experience into art, discipline, into creativity, and adversity into meaning. His novel, The Dead Don't Pay, launched the James Wolfe mystery series, and his short fiction has earned industry recognition, including the 2025 Seamus Award nomination. Today, we're talking about transition, identity, second chapters, creative discipline, and how veterans can keep serving in the world through their gifts. So if you ever wondered what your next mission could look like, this conversation's for you. Welcome to the show, James.
Glad to be there.
It's awesome that we got the technical glitch out and got you on here.
Yeah, finally got that link to work, so we're all cool.
Outstanding, sir. I just gave a little bit about you there. I know you served in the war that really set the pace for what we did during the global war on terrorism. You were in Vietnam. It was a different battlefield, but it's still the same scars, I think, as you come home. A little different respect when you guys came home than we did. So I pay homage to you guys and welcome you home, James, because a lot of you were not welcomed home.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I tried to put it behind me as soon as I returned home and decided to do something else with my life. So, but the experience, everybody deals with things differently. So, it all depends on how you come out on the other end. And eventually, we're damaged, but, we repair the damage, we move on.
That's right. And you found a creative way to do it through writing, through telling your story, through helping others tell their stories or write stories to get the creative voice out there. A lot of veterans actually have these stories in them and are afraid or don't think they have the skills.
Absolutely. And they do. Storytelling is just telling a story.
Right.
A lot of people, get involved and say, well, I didn't take English, I wasn't that good. I don't read a lot of books, but it doesn't matter. You still can tell stories. People sit down and after a few drinks, stories come out and it's just a matter of putting them on paper. I actually used, when I got involved in writing, had nothing to do with the military until I got involved with the Word Commandos and, which is we're a support group, I guess you would want to put it that way. But I was encouraged to write about my military experience, and it was like a cathartic moment because when the stories came out, I felt a lot better. And it really launched my writing career to another level because it just brought out more confidence. So, you do what you got to do. That's the way we always did it. We do what you got to do.
You push forward, and I think that's what you've done this beautifully. Just reading your website, reading your bio, I can see you never missed a beat. You kind of came home and just started what you were going to do next anyway. You started that off, and
and I never. I never put any pressure on myself that I had to do something in such a certain time or however it was. I just let it flow, and whatever came to me, I just went with it. So the experiences were varied and many. I worked in entertainment for over 20 years, 25 years. I wrote advertising ads. I sold phone systems. It didn't make any difference as long as I was entertained and was having a good time. I did it. I didn't put any guardrails on me. I just went for it.
And that's the best way to do it, I think. And like I said, you've done a lot. And are you originally from California, or is that where you just settled?
No, that's where I settled down. I was originally from Central New York.
Okay.
Yeah. I graduated Syracuse University after I returned from the service. I used my GI Bill to, go to school. I've been living in different places, moving around, and finally landed in California. And I said, oh my gosh, this is where I should be. And stayed here for decades and decades and decades. It's been a long time, but it's been totally... I guess like God's country, I guess the best way to put it. It's like, I found God's country. I just fit in.
You found your place. You found the place that you fit in, get in where you fit in. And I'm sure it's a lot different from Syracuse, where it gets pretty cold in the winter.
It does. Yeah.
Being you're in Northern California now, you're not in LA right now, right?
No, I'm in Northern California. I'm in Redwood Empire, they call it. So I live in Humboldt County now. I used to come up here in this area to go on vacation, and now I'm living where I used to go on vacation. So I'm on vacation every day. It's
That's a good
it's
life.
yeah, yeah. You get up in the morning. Well, I don't have to go back home. I'm there.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit about your book, the James
Sure.
Wolfe Murder Mystery.
This was a idea I had for a script when I was living in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area, and then COVID hit, and we were all out of jobs. A bunch of, I lost my job, and I was sitting at home all day, and just figuring, well, what am I going to do next? And to entertain myself, I kind of like was messing around with this idea. And the wife says to me, well, nobody's working right now. The entire industry is shut down because of COVID. Why don't you write that damn book? And so I said, you know what? That's a good idea. I'll think about it. And so I wrote the first chapter, and then I gave it to her to read. And she said, well, what happens next? I want to know how this ends. So that's what happened. And I just went chapter after chapter writing this book. And that was probably the easy part. Uh, Finishing it was not a problem. 6, 7 months later, whatever it was done. But then it took a year and a half to find somebody to publish it.
Wow.
And then finally it got published. Um, I did a deal for a 2-book series. And so the second one, probably looking at mid-June or early July that the sequel to The Dead Don't Pay will come out. And right now, as of this weekend, I'm almost through with the third installment. So it's working. It's fun. I've always been attracted to detective mysteries, especially noir. The 40s and 50s, the hard-boiled detective. I've read all of Dashiell Hammett practically, Ross McDonald, all those, and so It was the kind of thing that I just wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to write the same thing.
And obviously, once you got that pen to paper, fingers to keyboard, you just kept going.
It happened. Yeah, it started to flow, and it was a really fun experience.
And during your writing, what is your process? Do you do X amount of words a day, or just until your thought's done, and then you stop for that chapter?
Yeah. Number two, when the thoughts stop, that's when I stop, and then I go back to it. I've I really haven't had anything that was really satisfactory when I said, "Oh, I got to get 1,000 words. I got to get 5,000 words in today," and just trying to push it never worked for me. But when the idea comes in, um, it'll be like, oh, here it is, it's coming, and I'll get up and I'll start, and it's dinner time. What? Where did the day go? It just flows, and that's when I know I'm onto something.
That's good though. It's a good feeling that you get to sit there and do that and let that keep coming out. And now your third book is already in the works. Second book's about to come out. Do you do book tours or everything virtual?
No, I have done live tours. I've gone to bookstores, Barnes and Nobles. I've done things at museums and other organizations where I will sign copies for people who wanted to buy the book. And so I'm open to any of that kind of stuff. Yeah, you got to do it all. You got to do the internet. You got to do the Instagram. You got to do the Facebook. That's the way it is these days. You got to be out there in the social media to promote. So yeah, I do it all.
You definitely have to get into every nook and cranny too of
Yeah. Yeah. But the other thing is it's good because you have a support group. Like I said, the Word Commandos, we meet twice a week on Zoom. And, so we support each other. And we've got Word Commandos from Japan, Connecticut, Georgia, all over. Yeah, if you want to, if any veterans out there are interested in writing, hit me up and I'll get you connected with the Word Commandos. And, you know, We read, we analyze, and then when we're ready, we submit stories.
Nice.
It could be about anything, or it could be about your military career. Got a group of great guys that, and some have major books out there
Nice.
over the past couple of years, 3 or 4 years. Guys in the group, will finish a novel or finish a memoir of their experience, and they get it sold.
That is awesome.
It is
Great
really
to have,
awesome.
great to have that support group, and like you said before, it's like just a gentleman's group, the support group, Word Commandos. But how does someone actually like apply to it? Is it through UCLA or is it just through the Word Commandos?
It is through UCLA. The person that runs it is Robert Morgan Fisher. He is we call him the Gunny. He's the lead. He's the lead guy. He runs the class, and we talk about all kinds of writing. It doesn't make any difference what it is. If the only thing that's required to be a Word Commando is that you want to do it, and you're either a son or daughter of a veteran, or you are a veteran.
Nice.
That's the only requirement. And it's I mean, from day one, you are welcomed in with smiles and warm arms, man. It's just like we all have that shared experience. So you are a brother or a sister right off the bat from day one.
That is outstanding. That's a great thing to feel and great thing to have. So I know a lot of at least the GWAT generation and the Cold War generation in between. There's a lot of men and women that wanted to do these things and just didn't have that place to go, that little area to go, or didn't know it was there. And now having this broadcast out there to say, hey, look, there's something that can help me, maybe be beta testers for me and see if what I'm writing is going to work.
Exactly.
Do for each other.
Yeah. So anybody's listening to this, shoot me an email. I'll hook you up.
There you go. From the mouth of James right there, he'll get you into the Word Commandos, and maybe you'll be the first one in your state to be part of it. So it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And share your story. Do not be afraid to share your story, because you can't take it with you. Your lessons will help someone else. And we try to sell that to as many people as possible on this show. Your story helps others, and your lessons that you've learned in life may stop someone from making those same mistakes.
You're absolutely right. And there's nothing like the camaraderie,
Yes.
from day one, that you're part of a group, and we're all in the same boat.
Right.
And we don't care where you came from or what you're doing. It's just you're part of the group. The number one is that you're a vet, and that's all that counts.
And that's the best thing. That's the best feeling. All you got to do is be a vet or be associated with a vet, son or daughter of a veteran, and be in there and have the ability to take some, constructive criticism on your writing to help you become a better writer. And that's the best part of that.
Absolutely.
Especially with a bunch of you guys who are published, and you're publishing a series, which is not something that's easy to do, but like you said, you got that flow and it's just going now.
Yeah, that's true. And it's happened to other guys too. I mean, like I said, is that once you get over the hump of putting it out there, and I think the best way to put it is like when you're writing and doing this kind of stuff, it's like opening a vein. You're letting people into your secrets and things that you would probably never tell anybody, but they're going to be part of you now when you start putting stuff on paper, what's going on in your head. And it can be scary at the time, but at the same time, it sometimes is very therapeutic. I mean, that's just what happens. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Right. Just like getting on these shows, first show you come on is probably a little harder than the second one.
Exactly.
It just gets easier and easier as you go. Just even for me as the host, the first one was not easy because it was basically a cold call. You do a cold call and you interview someone, and learning how to do it. And now 647 later, I'm a little better at this now.
Yeah. You have to be. There's no question about it. If you do the same thing and you do it over and over again, you become an expert.
You become that SME, and you have to and share your knowledge. What you learn, you got to keep sharing, and that's what I
Absolutely.
love about what your backstory is. What you help others before even thinking about you, and you take care of yourself. You got that, but you're also helping others along the way to get them to where you are, or maybe beyond.
Oh yeah, totally. And like I said, uh, funny things happen. Things just happen when you get in with the right people. The first story that I ever sold was about my military experience, and it was a funny piece, because in my career I used to I used to write jokes for premier radio networks for DJs to use in the morning on their morning shows. So I went from setting up these 1 and 2 liners to actually telling a whole story. And when I sold that first one, it was kind of like, wow, this is kind of cool. They paid me for this. I think I'm
Wow.
going to do more. And it just happens. It just goes that way.
And you were published in the War Horse, which is a pretty good veteran run magazine or print. And what made you lean into them? Or did they reach
Um,
out to you?
no, I heard about the War Horse, and I was reading their materials, and I subscribe to them. I get their monthly newsletter and updates, and I just thought what they were doing was a fantastic job over there. And so I knew that in their website they had a submission uh, uh, drop down menu, and they wanted to hear stories about true stories about your career. Now you weren't writing a novel; it wasn't fiction. So I had this story. It was a funny story. It was just the way it happened, and so I sent it in, and they would just loved it. They just thought it was the funniest thing. And I had been, luckily for me, through a weird circumstance, I got assigned to a headquarters company, and I was I was in the inspector general's office,
Ooh.
and I was aide to a colonel, and in the office there was just the two of us for whatever was going on. I was always there. It was the two of us, so we would go places and this kind of thing. So we were he had to go to some kind of inspection or something, talk to somebody at another base, and this was in Central Highlands of Vietnam, and I think it was the helicopter company. And there was something issue that he had to take care of. And as we were leaving, there was a soldier at the gate, and so we were pulling up, and the colonel said, "Stop! I want to talk to him." And he asked this guy, I think he was like an E4 or E5, and he said, "Where you going, son?" He goes, "I'm going to the airport. I'm on my way home." It's great. Well, didn't your company supply you with a ride to the airfield? And he said, "No." And so, and the plane was leaving in like 10 minutes, and we
Oh,
were like 10 minutes away.
wow.
So I said, "I think we can get him there in time, sir." And so he told the GI, "Yeah, throw your bag in here. We'll take you to the airport." And so I said, "Okay, 10 minutes. That's going to be kind of tight." So we took off in the Jeep, and I floored it. And we were like doing 60 miles an hour. And this Jeep, there's no doors,
Like
there's no
doing
seat belts. He was hanging on white knuckle, and we just raced to the airfield. And we pulled into the airfield. The plane was still sitting on the tarmac, and it hadn't started its engines yet.
wow.
So this kid jumps out, takes his bag, and he runs to the airplane. And my colonel boss says to me, "Okay, we're going to drive back to headquarters, 25 freaking miles an hour, and you better not go a mile over."
Yes, sir.
"Yes, sir." And he said, "Where did you learn to drive like that?" And I said, "Well, I'm from New York, sir."
You just go,
That's how we drive in New York.
especially up where you were. Yeah, it's central.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Pedal
open
to the
roads up there.
metal.
Yeah. And a Jeep 110 Willys edition there, just flying around the battlefield a bit. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so that was the first story. And I just said, well, I got to write more of these things, because there was a lot of personal stuff that happened, over, the military career, that was funny, that was, cute, that was whatever. And so I kind of like focused on those kind of things.
Yeah, a lot of us have all those kind of stories. You got the funny ones, the things that might be cute, and then there's some that are just dark and
Yeah,
are not
yeah,
good for some magazines, but they're good for when you get together with your brothers and sisters to
that's right.
chat because it's a safe space.
Absolutely.
That's things you learn along the way, what you can and can't say to other people. I got
Hey,
a
don't
question.
you find it that when you're with a group, that there is a certain amount of relaxation there, that you can go to places and nobody's going to be shocked or blown out of their chair.
Right.
They just go, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
And
just like
that's comforting in a way.
and it's almost any time if you go into a room and there's another veteran there, even if you'd never talked to them before, all of a sudden you connect and you can
Oh
talk.
yeah,
You can just start talking about things forever and you lose track of time, kind of like you do when you're writing.
exactly. And I've been in places, restaurants and stuff, and somebody will have a hat on or some badge or something. I'll go over and I'll say, hey Marine, where'd you serve? And then we start talking, and I get back to the table, and my wife says, "Where have you been? You were just gonna go to the bath." Oh, I saw there was a Marine over there, and we started talking.
And it just
That's the
doesn't
way it
end.
is.
Yeah, because you don't want to just stop talking to them because they have a story too, and you're sharing stuff
Exactly.
with each other. And of course,
Absolutely.
our wives get used to it after a while. I hope. I mean,
Oh, they do. Yeah.
yeah. So, my wife always says, "You never go somewhere where you don't know somebody."
Yeah.
The brother who hosts my Tuesday show says, "I never meet a stranger because I just talk to anybody."
Yeah.
So it's good and bad, I guess.
Well, it's more good than bad.
Yeah. We got a question from the audience here. This is from at Salami Beef. James, when did you realize writing could become your next mission? Thank you, Salami Beef.
Okay. That's really, I was working for an advertising agency at the time in San Francisco, and uh, we were doing an ad for some, uh, I can't remember if it was a stockbroker or something like that. But anyway, I sat down and we went through this whole thing and got it approved. And then I wrote a parody of the ad, because the direction it was going was kind of funny. And so it was a little risque and stuff, but everybody loved it. They said that was better than the ad that the company bought. It was like, oh my, that was so funny. And so this got around, and there was a guy that I knew. He worked for a radio station. And so he said, hey, I'm going to start doing weekends. I'm going to be doing Saturday night. And he goes, could you write me a funny commercial? Because, they said, look, you got to go out and sell some ads if you want to have this job on Saturday night. And so I wrote this funny commercial about a nightclub where you meet women and stuff like that. And it was really kind of funny. And I wrote the script. We got a couple of the guys from the radio station that voice it. And I didn't get paid, but it was a funny piece. And I go, this is kind of cool. If I could actually I never thought I could, do it. And so I started looking into it, and then started sending more things to different people. And before you know it, somebody offered me a job. They said, hey, would you like to do this every day? And I said, I sure would. And so I started writing stuff for radio shows. And that's how it started. And so there were short, 30-second, 45-second things. And then they started to develop into longer. I wanted to start experimenting with longer. So I enrolled into a script writing class at UCLA. I went down to Southern California, went to UCLA for script writing, and I was focusing on half hour, an hour, and I tried to focus on comedy. And after several years of doing that, a couple of scripts got down the chain a little bit, and I was looking at property in Beverly Hills because I'm going to have a hit TV show. Of course, when you think like that, nothing happens.
Right.
They like you for 5 minutes and then not anymore. So none of them ever sold. And so then I got into Premier Networks, and I was one of the staff writers for network television and radio shows. And I did that for 20 some odd years. I worked on a #1 radio station in LA, writing material for them for morning show. And then I decided to write the novel when I lost my job.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's the ebbs and flows of the job of the business there.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing that I mean, if you've served in the Army, stuff gets thrown at you. You just don't say, "Oh, gee, I'm a computer operator." No, you got to do. If there's something that needs to be done, they tell you you got to go out and do it. And
Right.
so stuff would come my way, and I would just do it. And people would ask me, "Oh, have you ever done this before?" Yeah, never have, but I got a pretty good idea how it works.
Just got to be confident. That's it.
Yeah. Just step in.
Step in, take a hit. Another one came in while you were answering that one. This is from at Weekend No Warrior. How did military service shape your discipline as a writer?
Oh, easy question to answer. We're disciplined, period. I think without that, I'm telling you that there are times that I say to myself, I don't want to do this today, but because that information is flowing around in my head, I got to do it. And I feel like it's got to be done, and I just do it. There are so many things that have happened because of that discipline and needing to get things done, that when something pops up, I have something ready. I really need to edit that short story, but it's a pain in the neck. So, I'm going to put it off. No, I got to get that done. So I go and edit the short story. And when something pops up that are looking for that one and it's ready, I can deliver right away.
Definitely. And I think that's something that most of us, even people who didn't like their time in the military or have some bad taste about it, they always come out with the same thing: discipline and having a structured life and doing the thing every day. You have to almost live like a checklist, and everything has to go into a flow, and you're able to complete things that most people think, why are they doing so much?
Right.
So easy. Right. They finish things so easily. Nothing bothers them because you don't know the things that they went through while they were in uniform to get them this way.
Yeah, that's true. I think that part of the thing is that once you go through your military career, you are much less afraid of things that come up. You just figure out how to do it. It's not a disaster. I can fix the toilet. I can figure this out.
I can fix this one, or I can make one like we had before. So,
yeah.
It's one or the other, but something's going to work here. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
now. Nothing's going to phase us anymore. And I think that's what bonds us too, because we can laugh about things like that. That's not hard. You can do this. So
yes.
Hard. You don't know hard.
You don't know hard.
What was the unit you were with over in Vietnam?
I was with the Team MACV, Team 21. It was a military assistant command, and so it was an advisor group, and we were assigned to 2 Corps headquarters in Pleiku, and that was my entire career there. I was supposed to. That's another interesting story that I did write a short story about, is that I was going to be assigned to another unit after I got in country. It was supposed to be, I think it was a G2 thing, and then they filled the job, and so they were going to send me to another unit. And I don't remember. It was somewhere out in the boonies. And what had happened is that I got my gear together and flew out of Saigon, and the next stop was the air base in Pleiku. And by the time plane landed, it was getting dark, and so there was no flights were going to be leaving that night. So I was taken to 2 Corps headquarters where they had a transient barracks. I would take the next plane out in the morning. And so, it was late. I got something to eat. I hung out at the NCO club with a bunch of guys, and we were drinking beers and where you're from and all that kind of nonsense. And we go through all that. And one of the sergeants was saying, geez, the colonel over at the Inspector General's office, he lost his aide. His aide went back, mustered out, went back home. And he was working by himself because there wasn't anybody else in the unit that could drive stick shift. And so I go, that's weird. I said, I drive stick shift. And they said, really? And so the next thing you know, they set me up with a meeting with the colonel the following morning. And I went to sit down with him in his office. And they said, so, Sergeant, so-and-so says you know how to drive stick. I said, I can basically just drive about anything, motorcycle, stick shift, truck, whatever you want. And he says, so where are your orders? I give him my orders. And he goes, oh, you're going there? You don't want to go there. He says to me, that's a shithole. And so I said, oh, okay, sir. And he goes, I'll tell you what, I'm going to change your orders. If you can drive the stick shift, you're going to be working with me. I said, sounds good.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy story.
Yes.
But that's because I could drive stick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a dream job. I mean, I was general staff, working with general staff. The lowest ranking, here I was an E4. The lowest ranking next to me was a major. I didn't even deal with sergeants. It was crazy.
Wow. You're in a whole other world.
Oh, it was. And I mean, I got close to the colonel. He was a really nice guy. And we would, at the end of the day, we would go to his barracks. So I'm in the officers' quarters and we're drinking Jack Daniels. And he was from North Carolina. He would be talking about North Carolina and I would be talking about New York. And we sit there and drink. And then I go, well, I got to go, sir.
That's outstanding. And of course, yeah. Jack Daniels brings you together.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee whiskey brings you in there.
Absolutely.
We got another question. This is from Rec Room 456. What inspired the James Wolfe mystery character?
Okay, that is James Wolfe suffers from PTSD. And he doesn't know it because it's the mid to late 40s. And he doesn't know what that is. He just acts weird. So since, I had a bout with it. And so I wanted to write a story about a guy who had that kind of thing going on where sometimes he just can't sleep and things because of what happened to you, something bothers you and you don't know why. I wanted to include that in some kind of story, but I didn't want to do a military story. But because I enjoy noir and I enjoy that type of hard-boiled detective, not the detective that drives a Cadillac and, has a lot of money, the guy that's scraping by, by his wits. And so that character kind of popped in my head. Now, his name is James Wolfe in the series, but actually his backstory is from an Italian immigrant family, and his real name is Giacomo Lupo, which in Italian translated to English means James Wolfe. So he changed his name to become more Americanized with not going around with a foreign name. So that's how that got put together. I wanted to include two things. I wanted to include a foreigner coming from an immigrant family with a foreign name, and he becomes more Americanized. But at the same time, he does suffer from a traumatic experience that causes him to sometimes hallucinate,
Flashback a little bit.
flashback. Yep,
We all do that, and got to keep our Italian names out there. So it's good.
that's right.
Definitely. And as you see, we both have vowels at the end of our names. We're both from the Northeast.
That's
So
right.
I'm from New Jersey originally. So
There you go. See, I can tell a little bit. There was a little accent there.
just a tad. Yeah. I lost most of it in the Army, being in the South most of my career. And actually, I was told I was adopted as a kid many times because I didn't sound like my brothers and sister.
Oh, I did that to my brother too. I had him
Look at
convinced.
that. So I wasn't alone. That's good.
I had him totally convinced for years.
I think my brother still does it to me. He always says you're the adopted one. So he'll probably chime in now with that as well.
Uh-oh. Well, it's good to see that I'm not the only one.
It runs in I guess the Italian families. There's
Yeah.
always going to be one. See, he just posted in that you were adopted.
Yeah.
There it is. You were adopted. Every gathering, everything. They even had our family doctor telling me that.
That's priceless.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
That's
When you can get the family doctor involved to pull a joke off, that's huge.
yeah, he never stops. Until the last time I went to him, he always said, "Have fun with your new family when you get out of here."
Yeah.
So there's more jokes for you. I can be in there.
Okay. And believe me, I'll use them.
Here's another one from Run Fast, Live Slow. How do creators fight through doubt and keep producing? Great question.
Boy, yeah, you just got to I don't know, what you use to I mean, I figure out ways, but I don't know, maybe you need a couple of shots of Jack Daniels first, but you got to get over that because you just got to step in both feet. You can't just test the water. You got to jump in both feet and it'll work out. And that's that's how it worked for me. Because believe me, I still doubt myself. I still put stuff, I go, I don't know if this is going to be any good. They're going to hate this. And then, I get feedback and it's, oh, no, it's fine. Okay, cool. No, I really like this. I've really been lucky because my publisher loves the character. I send him stuff and I'm going, I don't know, what do you think about this? And I worked on, oh my God, I love it. This is so good. So I still have the doubts. It creeps in because sometimes you just go, is it just me? Is anybody else going to figure this out? Are they going to understand this? And, you just got to do it.
Definitely. And I know for me, I wrote a nonfiction self-help book first, and then a fictional novel, and then back to 2 self-help books while still working on the sequel to the fictional novel. And the doubt comes in because I'm doing so much at one time. Make sure I'm not overwriting each one of them or putting too much of one thing into the other and messing each one of them up and then having to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that with anyone that you mentor or coach, that they try to get into too many things at one time?
Yeah, and that's difficult too. And I think I think sometimes if you just put it aside and you're looking at something else, I think that's fine. But I mean, more power to you. You were getting away with doing nonfiction and fiction at the same time. That's got to be totally confusing, and it makes you feel like you're not getting anything done. I know how that is. But the thing that is the crutch, the thing that you're always going back to, you could always rewrite. Is that somebody could say something, it could trigger something, and you're going, oh, I can fix that. All I got to do is do that, and it'll fix that scene. It'll make that thing work. So I always believe that when I start, I'm going to figure it out by the time I get to the end, because the idea was good in the first place. So I figured it somewhere along the line. I may have to put it aside for a while, but somewhere along the line, pieces are going to start to fit together.
hopefully they all fit together at some point.
Yeah.
Everything starts to flow, and that's like right now. I have one that's going on basically based on the show. It's based off the last question I ask all my guests, and this is the first of 3 novels I'll do for that one. It's the three things that matter, and that's one nonfiction. Another one is no manual included about being a dad while serving in the Army, and then of course my sequel to my nonfiction, which would be Forged in Resilience. So all 3 of them are going. They're all at some various levels of being complete. And I just keep going back to each one. I try to do one a day instead of trying to do all of them at the same time each day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll be writing the
Yeah.
same words in all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's true.
No matter how focused we are and how much we can do, you're still going to wind up overlapping one of them somehow. Then
Oh yeah, because they're so close together. Yeah.
And that's something, I guess, part of being that military thing where you can do anything kind of gets in your way a little bit sometimes as well.
Yeah, that's true. Is that when you're always told that, nothing is really impossible.
Just keep doing it.
You just keep doing it.
Don't worry about sleep. It'll happen someday.
Yeah, that's right.
So while you're finishing up book 3 and you have this, I'm sure the publisher wants that one as well. You said you got signed for the first 2. The third one will probably line up in that same publisher. Are you already number 4 as well?
Yeah, I've got little outlines for at least 3 more.
Nice.
That I'll eventually get to. I've just trying to figure out what to do next with the next one. With the third one's done, and I've kind of got an idea which direction I want to go for the 4th one. And I'm sure the publisher is not going to, we'll just re-sign another deal, and for 1 or 2 more, and keep going. I realize I'm not putting myself in a cutoff where I go, I'm only going to do 10. I'm going to stop. Right. It's just I'll stop when I just run out of ideas. So
that's awesome.
That's how it's going to work.
And you said to find the right publisher, find that right hit took about 1.5 years, right after all the editing.
Yeah. And that is so important, because the person, if they love it the way you love it, you got a partner, and they're going to do everything they can to get it out there, rather than somebody who's kind of like lukewarm on it, or that if something else comes up that they feel they're more in love with, they're going to put you aside and go with the other one. So, I was really lucky, and I had to make a choice, because things started to happen when I was out there submitting it between agents and publishers. And then, I get some lukewarm response, and they were kind of going, I think, maybe we will do this. And maybe it wasn't good enough. I wanted somebody to say, I want to do this. I want to publish this book. And until finally I did. Who, by the way, my publisher is ex-Air Force. So, there's a connection there too. He's, his call sign is Hillbilly. And so, it's like, okay, let's work together. I mean, the synchronicity is just too good.
Did you meet him in person first, or did you meet him via like query letters into his?
No, query letters. Yeah. And he responded and to my query, and probably I'd send it to him, and it was like 3 or 4 months later, I finally get an email from him, and it said, geez, I wanted to get in touch with you. I read your submission, and is this book still available? I go, oh yeah, it's still available. And so I sent him a bio, which included the Word Commandos and where he could see my other writing. And then he said, listen, let's do a contract. I'd like to do a deal. Because if you're open to that, I said, yeah, I'm open to it. So it was just like, you meet the right person, you're getting married.
You pass the line and everything worked out. That's good. That's really
good.
Hillbilly helped you out, so it's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I've been totally blessed with all this has been happening. I mean, I just can't tell you. It's amazing. If you would have told me this, 3 years ago, I would have told you, yeah, you're full of it.
It's not going to happen.
No.
We got another question came in. This is from Smooth something. Smooth Dude. Smooth Dude. What advice would you give veterans searching for purpose after service?
Wow. You should look at what you really enjoy doing. Don't do something that you don't enjoy, because I mean, we only go around once.
Yes.
Do what you enjoy and don't worry about the money. Everything will work out, because if you're having fun, other people around you are going to be having fun too, and you're going to be a superstar.
Outstanding. That's a great answer. I like that. That's beautiful. All right. So as we start to wrap up, James,
Yep.
come towards the end here. Jeremy Jackson. Hey, what's going on, Jeremy? Nice to have you on here. As we start to wrap up here, we asked two questions of our guest, and you've already answered the first one a few times. What's the best way for someone to get in contact with you if they want to either pick your brain on how to write, how to join the word commandos, sorry, or maybe just get you on their show?
Just shoot me an email, and in the tell me what you want, and in the email, just very simple. I'd like to become a member of the Word Commandos. What do I need to do? I can send you the information. Or you want advice on some about writing, I can point you in the right direction where to get stuff, or websites and other links that can help you. It's no problem. You can go to my website and you contact me there. So if you want, I can give you my full email. It's jd2020productions@gmail. And I'd be happy to get a buttload of responses in my inbox.
There you go. I put it in the chat there, so everyone, you can see it in the chat. It's
Cool.
on all the feeds that should be going in there. James's website's going across the bottom, and it's on the screen right now. You can look at it. There's the Dead Don't Play cover right there. James on the water, it looks like.
Oh yeah, that's wife and I are in Seattle.
In Seattle, okay. Left Coast.
The crime convention was in February
Nice.
in San Francisco.
Taking some questions. Straight Skinny. Warhorse. Everything's on here, yeah. San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, yeah, it's the picture I used right there with the airplane. That's
Yeah.
the picture I used for the cover. Okay.
Yeah, that was a Stearman Navy trainer that a buddy of mine owned, and we used to go flying in that sucker. Oh man, that was something
wow.
else. That was so much fun.
I was gonna say, I bet it must be fun in that thing.
Yeah,
That's
we
awesome.
got a picture when I was going to Ben Het in Vietnam. We were flying in on a Huey, and
Nice.
that's my car
Yeah.
that I work on. And those girls I don't know who they are. They just took a picture, so don't ask me about that.
But they're there. That's good. That's good advertisement. If you open that car, that's what comes out of it.
That's what comes out.
And this is you in Vietnam here.
Yep.
Little mustache.
My
going
best
on.
buddy, Rich.
All right. Awesome. Great name. All right. All right. And our final question, James, is I told you it's the three things that matter. So what's three things the Misfit Nation, the audience, can start doing tomorrow to be better people?
Oh. Call your mother.
Oh, good.
Tell her that you love her dearly. Wake up with a song in your head like it's a beautiful morning, because every morning is beautiful. And drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated.
Always got to drink the water and change your socks.
Yeah. There you go.
Great advice, James. James, thank you for taking some of your time this evening from the left coast to hang out with us here. I know you got here a little earlier than us right now, so you got some daylight still. And it's great to always.
This was fun. Thanks for having me. I mean, this is great. What a joy. I love talking to veterans.
That's why I did this. That's why I started this. It's kind of selfish and self-serving. I get to hear other people's stories and learn so many different things. It's amazing to sit on this side of it and learn, and then also share some of my story with you guys as well. And I'll be emailing you about the Word Commandos as well.
Oh, totally. I mean, is so cool. The Dead Don't Pay Monday, this past Monday, was released in audio form. So if anybody, you go on to Amazon, you can get the audiobook, so you don't have to read it. You can listen to it in your car if you do a lot of driving.
Yes,
we got it all covered.
That's what I do most of my book reading now, is while I'm driving and stuck in traffic. So it's
there
the
you
best
go.
time. And it doesn't get me angry as music does sometimes. So. All right, James. Thank you.
Rich,
thank you for hanging out.
Thank you so much. It's been a treat meeting you.
Same here. And it's always good to meet a fellow veteran, a fellow Northeaster, and a fellow Italian. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. Misfit Nation, remember, if you're feeling that darkness, if you're feeling the walls caving in on you, stop. Think about those around you. Think about that one little piece of paper I told you to keep in your wallet with those 3 names on it. The 3 names that mean the most to you. Call those 3 names. They will reach back to you. They'll be so happy that you reach out to them because they want to see you tomorrow. We want to see you tomorrow because a day tomorrow with you is 100% better than one without you. If you don't want to call anyone else, reach out to us. info@themisfitnation.com, jake@themisfitnation.com, or steven@themisfitnation.com. We will get you on the line, and we will keep you on the line until we get someone local to make sure you're all right and you stay with us. Misfit Nation, until next time, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.